What up? What up? Malachi was good. Big Mike was going on. We'll just wait till a few more people get in here and then I'll get started. Lace was good. Sean, what's going on, fam? I was gonna put something in the Perfecto group, but I was like, I'm gonna just leave it out, and whoever's got the notification bell on, they'll get to it. Ken, what's going on? Mike, how's everything going at work, man? Jay, what's good? Malachi, well, I don't know, man. It's nice here, man. So I don't know if it's nice for you to try to get out and get you a walk-in or something, man. So that's probably what I'll end up doing before a little walk or run before the Cigar Madness episode goes. Mystical, what's going on, man? Mike, what's going on? Hey, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. We'll wait till a few more people get in here, and then I'll get started on what I was going to talk about today. I know some people probably at work. Seems like stuff's starting to get back to normal almost. I know in beginning of May, it sounds like they're going to open everything back up. Yeah, okay, Miss. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It sounds like they're starting to try to make everything kind of go back to normal, quote unquote. Rob, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing good. Anybody smoking anything good today? I'm on my second cigar today. I had the Warped GR88 for the first thing, and then I'm smoking a Warped Corto, and I got another one over here too. I might smoke during this. Hey, Mike, I'm gonna be doing some swimming this summer too. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Mike, I'm smoking a Warped Corto. I was smoking a Warped GR88 this morning, so I'm doing a lot of Warped today, and then I got an Illusion I'm gonna smoke later on too. Yeah, man, I bet that is. That's, man. Hopefully everything will be back up soon. Hopefully everything will be back soon where you can get back to work, man. I know how it is. Everybody, when you're at work, man, you kind of wish you had some time off, but then after about 2 or 3 days of being off, you kind of, if you just a go-getter and you're used to working, you like doing stuff. Mike, what's the weather like up there? Yeah, hey, you already know, Mystical, that Corto is a great cigar. Mike, are you smoking the regular? Are you smoking the regular Oliva V, or are you smoking the Melanio? JC was good, boy. Damn, Mike. Shit, I might need to get where you at today. I said barbecue and swimming. Oh yeah, you perfect. No cap. What up? What up? All right, man. I figured there's probably enough people in here, so I was gonna. Okay, Melanio, good, cool. I like the regular V too, but the Melanio I think is a little bit better. All right, so man, I was gonna make a Big E, what's going on, man? I was gonna make a video about some of this stuff, but then I was like, man, I ain't finna shoot a lot of film and have my guy edit all this stuff when I could just go live and talk about it. So some stuff I'm gonna cover today. You guys know I got a video dropping at 3 o'clock Central Time. So you guys will have to adjust accordingly where y'all lit. Classic Impala, what's good, man? Hope you've been enjoying them cigars too. But some stuff I'm gonna talk about. Yeah, Mystical, this is my sunroom, man. This is where I do most of my smoking at. On some episodes, you'll see this, and then I'll be at my partner's living room or whatever. Everybody thinks that's my house. That's my partner's house. He smokes in it, so that's why I'm able to smoke in it. Latonya, how you doing? I got that box of cigars should be sent out to you. If not, it should have been already sent out. If it's not, it'll be sent out soon. So you'll have to let me know when you receive those. But now today I was going to talk about a few things, man. I was going to cover I was going to cover how I review Cuban cigars, and then I'm going to cover just some stuff, just some comments people have been making, and just some kind of negative stuff I've been seeing. I mean, the majority of it's been good, but I just want to address some stuff. So okay, you drive. Yeah, don't be texting and driving. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk about, the whole cigar madness concept. So I feel like most people get it that, if you're looking at the NCAA March Madness tournament, the whole concept of the tournament or the whole interest of it, what makes people interested in it is you just never know on any given day a team could get beat. So the thrill of seeing a number one seed or a powerhouse goes down, that drives people to want to watch the games. So, a couple of years ago when Duke lost to Weber State with CJ McCollum and them. So you look at that stuff like that. So that doesn't mean that Weber State is a better team than Duke. It just means that Weber State was better that day. Everybody knows 9 times out of 10, if Duke plays their team, they blow them out by 20 points. But you never know that game that they're playing. They're hitting all their shots. CJ McCollum's on fire. They go down. Hey, now how you doing? So the cigar madness concept, it was designed for that same kind of feel because nobody really put together a head-to-head kind of competition. But I feel like a lot of people that are watching the video are missing the whole concept of it. So speaking on like the Davidoff versus the Cohiba that just aired a couple of days ago. So I got a little bit of flack from that, probably mostly because it was a Cuban cigar involved, and then just because people have their opinions and stuff like that. So when I'm doing the competition, I'm smoking those 2 cigars in probably a 3 or 4 hour time span, which is really good because your memory's refreshed and you know what's going on as far as what's being smoked. So if the person has only smoked one Davidoff late hour and they smoked it 6 months ago, and then they had a Cohiba Robusto a year ago, their memory is only going to be so good. And they're like, oh man, I kind of remember both of them. I think I would want to lean towards the Cohiba or the Davidoff. But you don't know that unless you're putting them side by side. So the opinions can vary. And then, of course, the Cuban snobs out there that think that only Cubans are worthy of being smoked, or there are non-Cubans that just don't stand a chance, when that's completely false. I feel like as an aficionado, and this is just my personal opinion, of course, I think that there's 2 things you could look at. The aficionado to me is somebody that's very passionate about smoking, and you can obtain that passion very quickly. Somebody can become an aficionado in a month, or however fast it takes them. Somebody that becomes really receptive, starts reading a lot of material, starts studying tobacco, starts versing themselves in a lot of different tobacco. You're an aficionado. So I feel like everybody that watches cigar content all the time, they do a lot of reading. To me, everybody that's in the chat that smokes cigars and that's pretty conscious on it, they're aficionados. So cigars are man-made, so they're different from cigar to cigar a lot of times, especially Cubans. So with me, when I'm reviewing Cuban cigars, even if they're not involved in cigar madness, what's going on, Pete? Mentic, what's going on? 901 Chris, was good? Glad y'all all made it. So for me, when specifically talking about Cuban cigars, the way I'm gonna review the cigar, if it's something out of my personal collection, obviously I'm not gonna tell people that where it came from. I'm just gonna say this was out of my personal collection. Now, if Monte Fortuna or I Havanas or whoever sends me cigars and I know that they're authentic and I'm reviewing that cigar, what I'm going to cover is I'm going to cover where the cigar came from. So the sampler packs, I'm going to cover that it came from Monte Fortuna. I'm going to cover the price point of the cigar. I'm going to cover flavor notes, and then I'll cover strength and stuff like that. And then the main thing I'm going to review is if the cigar is worth it. So all these guys getting these comments, and then the first thing they want to do is talk about how long they've been smoking Cubans or how much longer they've been smoking. That doesn't mean anything. There are people that have been smoking for 2 or 3 years that are way more knowledgeable than the person that's been smoking 20 years. Just because you've smoked a Monte Cristo number 2 for 25 years, that doesn't mean anything. If you're only well-versed in that one cigar, to me, you're not really that much of a help as opposed to somebody that knows about Cubans non-Cubans, hand roll. You gotta be well versed in all that stuff. James, what's going on? Matt, what's going on? So for me, I feel like, and guess what? Everybody that watches cigar reviews, they don't. A lot of the people, a lot of my guys, the sneaker community in here, a lot of them guys don't give a damn about the history of that cigar. All they want to know is, hey, Ron, I'm trying to get into cigars. I have never dabbled with Cubans. Is this cigar worth the money? Is it a good cigar? That's what they want to know. Bottom line. If you want to watch about history and you want to get a more well versed about more of a Cuban cigar, there are plenty of channels you can go to. You can go to Dutch Cigars, AJ Patel, Saltier Cigars, Cigar Smoker UK, Puff Puff Cigars. There's quite a few guys. Most of those guys, they're going to be in Canada or Europe. But the main thing you got to look at too, those channels are mostly focused on Cuban cigars because that's what those guys smoke. The taxes in Canada are terrible, so they don't really smoke a lot of non-Cubans. That's just what they're used to, Cuban cigars. So that's what you're going to get. Dutch Cigars, Saltier Cigars, they own La Casa del Habanos. So that's what they're going to review. If you're looking at the average American reviewer, he's going to cover most things. So I feel like a lot of times Americans get penalized because they don't show as much favoritism to Cuban cigars as those guys do. But that's just a preference of palate. Most of the American smokers crave more power, more flavor, more intensity, more complexity. Most of your Cubans aren't very strong cigars. Yes, when they're well aged, they taste really good. But to say that there's non-Cubans out there that don't taste as good or that are not better, come on, man. Like, what? I mean, and then you start talking to these people and you're like, all right, well, okay, well, what non-Cubans are you comparing them to? And then you start listening to it and you're like, you're not really well versed in non-Cuban cigars. So to me, my opinion is already like, all right, man, like you already are being biased. You already got your decision already made. But I like the guy was trying to tell me on the video, he was like, which Cohiba Robusto in this video is pointless. Another thing, the video may be pointless to you again. If you want somebody you feel like that's more knowledgeable than me, because I've never claimed to be the smartest person. I don't know that much, but I feel like I know more than some, but there's a lot of people out there that know way more than me. But if you want to watch some more quality content, you want more stuff you can pick up on, watch those channels I just referenced. I watch those guys. I get a lot of information from those. There's another guy that's in America. He does mostly Cubans. I think his name is Dave Dude or something along those lines. I don't want to chop his channel's name up, but he reviews all kinds of stuff, pre-embargo stuff, Cubans from the 80s. You can learn a lot. So for him to say the video is pointless, I was looking at it like, man, that's a little much. If you disagree with me or you disagree with anybody else, that's fine. Because there's millions of people that watch YouTube. You're gonna me putting myself out there to YouTube, I know that people are gonna disagree with me. Some people are gonna disagree with me on strength ratings, flavor notes. That's cool. I understand that. We could have a debate or whatever. But when you start saying the video is pointless or I don't know why you're doing this, why are you watching? There's hundreds of cigar channels. Why are you constant? And even not just my channel, but why go on somebody else's channel to make a negative comment? There's a lot of cigar reviewers I don't care for. You'll never see me in the comment section saying, man, this shit sucks, or I don't think you're that knowledgeable. I just don't comment on it. I don't like it. I don't follow them, whatever. So it was just kind of weird to me. And it's just like, which I'm really thankful for, because all you guys, man, y'all are really quick on the gun as far as like jumping on people, because I think if a person has something and they disagree, that's not the problem. But you can't come over here and be bashful, or you can't come over here and be hateful. So that's where I disagree with it. Another thing too, as far as the speaking on the Cigar Madness again, the Plasencia Alma Fuerte and the Padron 19. I'm using those as an example. I love both of those cigars a lot. The only reason why I don't smoke the Padron more is because of the cost, but they're both great cigars. If that Plasencia wouldn't have had any burn issues, it would have beat that Padron. It tasted better, but the burn issues, I just couldn't push it. The concept of the tournament that day, the Padron smoked better. So it's like, I think some people watch it and they're like, when they watch the results, they're trying to see that, or they're trying to, I guess they're thinking that I'm saying that the Padron is just a hands down better cigar. Now that might be my opinion, but that's not what the Cigar Madness tournament is about. The tournament is about these 16 cigars, who's the most consistent when I'm smoking them. So whoever wins the tournament, that doesn't mean that that's the best cigar to me in the world or even the best cigar at the time. All that means is that cigar smoked better than the rest of these cigars when I sat down and smoked them. I'm in a controlled environment. I'm smoking indoors. My humidity is right. All the factors are there. Just sometimes stuff does. It's a handmade product. So especially in Cubans, you can get a box of Cubans and the consistency is so off. You'll smoke 20 cigars and 6 of them may be a complete dud. It happens, man. So look through these some of these comments. Yeah, sure. I mean, like I said, it's not even really me. It's not getting to me really because it's like I know that people are going to disagree with me and stuff. It's just like if you're going to disagree or dispute me, that's fine. But don't be distasteful though. Don't be hateful because it's like you're using too much energy. Just go over to another channel or somebody you prefer, or like my boy Mystical says all the time, start your own channel. You find most of them, they'll just make excuses like, oh, I don't have the time. Or, all right, then, well, shut the fuck up. No, I agree. I definitely agree. They definitely, and it's just like, so my boy Charles Wallingford says it all the time. I feel like you can't make that blanket statement of, damn, I forgot the guy's name. He's over in England too. He made that comment the other day. I feel like people that automatically, when you talk to them and they say, oh, well, Cubans are the best, or you got to be well versed in all of them. Like if I was to really sit down and think about my top 10 cigars of all time, there's going to be representation probably from everywhere because there are some Cuban, like everybody knows I love Bolivars. The Belicoso Fino and the Royal Corona are probably there, and especially in the top 20, they're both going to be there. I've had some really nice Ramon Alona, especially selected. They're in there. And then I've had some really bad cigars. Like I've had some really, really bad ones. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, when it gets warmer outside, I'm definitely gonna do more outdoor stuff and reviews too. But obviously, in scoring and stuff, it's gonna play a role in that too. But being in a controlled environment, it's like because people will make excuses. Like one guy was trying to tell me that because my bands were moving, that I probably needed them to be more humidified. And I'm like, man, that's all preference. If you like, and everybody, and sometimes you can read too much. Sometimes you have to. The best experience is yourself or learning the lesson through yourself. So if you're reading and you hear that 70/70 is the best thing, they're probably telling you that in the most I can't even think of the word, the most ideal situation. Everybody in this panel right now lives in different parts of the country. You got North Carolina, you got New York, I feel like for me in my situation, I like cooler smokes. Utah, see that you're everywhere. So some places are hot but not humid. You got places like Memphis and Texas that do get warm and get pretty humid. You got Florida. You got places up Chicago, North Carolina, New York that might not get as humid. So for me, I feel like my cigars smoke better when they're below 65. In that 62 to 65 range, that's what I like. So that's a good sign for me if a cigar's been sitting there for a long time with the band's moving. That means the tobacco is staying cool. And a lot of times when your cigars are over humidified, you start running into draw and burn issues because the leaf is too moist. So exactly, like it just so happened, like I've smoked Monty number 2s and had horrible draws, and then the 2 that I smoked in the tournament, they were off the chain. They were great cigars. So and that's another thing. If you're really well versed in Cuban cigars, if you say that they don't have quality control issues or construction issues, you're lying. Or you haven't had any Cubans, or you're just going off of what somebody's saying. They do, man. Because like even Cohiba, I don't know if that, and some of you guys that are probably even more knowledgeable on Cubans than me, you'll probably know. Like Cohiba used to pay their rollers by the weight. So you're stuffing these cigars. So think about this. I've been smoking for 5 years and I still have never owned a draw tool. Now that's probably my fault. Like I probably do need to purchase one. But again, at the same time, that should tell you too, like in my experience of how I keep my cigars, for the most part, not saying nothing's 100%, I never usually have draw issues unless I'm outdoors or I'm coming from somewhere extreme. If it's 90 some degrees outside, my cigars are sitting at 62 and it's humid outside. When I come outside to smoke, I'm gonna have some burn. In my mind, I already know like I'm gonna have to touch this. I'm gonna have to touch the cigar up some. It's inevitable. It's gonna have to happen. So, but another thing too. So I was reviewing the cigars from Monte Fortuna. You guys should know too if you guys are follow me enough. So I'm not gonna put anything on the channel that's even in question. So when Monte Fortuna reached out to me on Instagram and wanted me to do a sampler review for them, I was like, all right, cool. So I never really had dealt with Monte Fortuna much. I've always done with my guy over in Serbia, or I use I Havana some. And that's another thing too. When you guys are buying Cubans, make sure that I think sometimes it's good to save money. I think it'll be better to try to save money on non-Cubans. Sometimes when you're dealing with Cubans, make sure if you have to spend an extra $10 or $20 and you're coming from a site that's well known, go that way. Sometimes trying to save a little money is not worth the trouble. So I never heard of Monte Fortuna. So what did I do? I immediately reached out to about 2 or 3 people I know that are really big. One guy is a huge rep for a Cuban dealer that I know. I reached out to him, asked him about Monte Fortuna. He immediately said, no, they're legit. So really, I didn't even need anybody else's cosign. I already had it there. Then I reached out to Danny at Puff Puff Cigars. He does a lot of Cuban cigars. He's like, no, they're completely legit. Went to one of the persons. I said, all right, cool. So some guy commented and said that, man, you guys need to stop doing this. Monte Fortuna's fake, and everybody that's doing these are paid advertisers. Think about this. So think about how small my channel is. And so Monte Fortuna is dealing with somebody as small as me, and they're also dealing with the biggest cigar reviewer channel around, Cigar Obsession. I don't know Brian Glenn personally, have never talked to him, but I'm pretty sure as much as he knows about fake cigars, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to review a fake cigar and put that and risk his reputation. So it was, and then another thing, being paid. Everybody should know that these channels aren't monetized. The only kind of revenue that's generated from me is when people sign up for the Patreon or they do donations. I'm not paid by anything. Even my 2 sponsors, they're not paid sponsorships. That's not what that sponsorship is based on. So that is like what I was saying earlier. If you disagree with something, that's cool, but don't don't make a comment that you have no knowledge on or you don't have any kind of proof backing it. Yeah, no, I agree for sure. And that's why I was about to say too, like, especially with Cigar Madness, it's just for pure enjoyment. Like this tournament is just, and it just so happened it came at the time where the pandemic is hitting and everybody's at home. So for me, if I can give you guys 15 or 20 minutes of a little time to just have enjoyment or smoke cigars and just have some good quality content to watch, that's the goal for it. So it's not the goal of me saying like, oh, I'm thinking this cigar is better all the time. This tournament was completely designed for fun. I agree, Jerome. Like they could be annoying, but I'm learning from one of the best in the business, man, as far as just like letting it roll off. So, but you guys know, man, I'm gonna just keep this shit a buck at all times. And like I even commented in that guy's comment about Monte Fortuna. You ain't gonna buy me, dude, because everybody knows now, or you should know, my purpose is to become a blender. I don't want to be a retailer. I don't want to own a lounge. Like, is that to say that that'll never happen? No, but that's not my goal. Like, I want to learn how to blend and roll cigars. Like, I want to be a blender. If I could blend cigars or be around in the tobacco farm and have nothing to do with retail, that's my goal. So I don't want to do any cookie cutter stuff. So I don't want to, if there's 10 or 15 other channels dealing with a particular person, that's not the direction I want to go to. Me personally, I'm trying to design my own thing. I'm trying to create my own lane. I want to do my own stuff. It may sound bad, but I don't want to really be listed with other people. Like I want people to mention Ron's channel, and it's like, man, Ron's just he does his own thing. Like I like his stuff because it's just different. So, Jesse, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. So that's why I was just gonna say, like, I don't take everything too literal, man. Like me or whatever wins the tournament or whatever wins matchups. That's not me saying that these cigars are indefinitely or just superior to the other cigar that won. All it's saying is the day that I sat down and smoked that cigar, this cigar outperformed that one. That's all that it's saying. Shout out to you too, Jason Garcia. Shout out to you. Mike, are you talking about the Cuban, the Monte Fortuna site? Because they actually reached out to me again. So they're going to send me another sampler. So you guys will be seeing another probably 4 or 5 reviews of Cuban cigars too. And on top of that too, I like it too because it's giving me like a lot of the cigars I've had and frequently smoked, but there are some cigars in there that I would probably never get the chance to smoke if they weren't sending me these samplers, like some regional stuff, some brands I've never tried. So this is all fun to me. And you got to think, literally before September 16th of 2019, I was just a viewer. So I just decided, like, there's nothing special about me or what I'm doing. I just decided to put what I do when I'm not at work on camera. That's all I'm doing. So, Dame, I appreciate that too, man. Hey, be on the lookout for Cigar Club. You know, we're in a time where there are so many different cigar clubs, so everybody's trying to figure out what preference works for them or what they should go after. Because you know, you got the big dogs like Pravada Cigar Club that specializes in rare and limited stuff, and then you have your more traditional clubs like Cigar International or whatever it may be. You got luxury cigar clubs and small batch that do more high end stuff. But I like Cigar Club because I feel like and I don't know, I don't have experience with a lot of these other ones, but Dave is really good as far as if you reach out to him, he's always strong on his feedback, and they really do try to find cigars that fits you. You know, like if you're dealing with like a luxury cigar, it's nice, but I feel like at the same time, it's always really nice to kind of, for me at least, I feel like it's kind of it feels personal. If it's more personable and authentic to me, I feel like I gravitate towards that more. So that's where I gravitated towards Cigar Club. There was a couple of cigars in my last box I smoked. You can ask Dave. I even texted him. I said, I don't care for these. Why didn't you care for them? Okay, well, I'll adjust that, fix that accordingly. And then they got a lot of big stuff planned. They got a big collaboration cigar they got with HVC, which you guys know I'm a really big HVC guy. And they're doing their own cigars, customs that they're getting ready to release too. They got a lot of really big stuff going on. Noam, what's going on? Rod, what's going on? Mike, it as far as hard to find real Cubans, but at the same time, like I said too, I think I was talking to Lee Mack in an upcoming video about that. I was like, you know, 20 or 30 years ago, I feel like things would probably be a little bit more difficult as far as trying to find things. But now you got Google and you have access to all these people. Like, some people may not respond to you, but there are a lot of big names that all you got to do is reach out to them, man. As far as Cubans, just Google's your best friend. They got lists. They actually have lists online of sites not to order from because they're not reputable. But Monte Fortuna is a great site. Havana's is another great site. That's probably the two most well known. I think there's another one called Puro Express. I don't know if they're still up and running. I know Billy Boulevard that has the Puro Maduro channel. He recommended them, so I already know him too. He's another one. He's not gonna jeopardize his reputation smoking something fake. Same thing with me. And then another thing, a guy was commenting about that too, about an Opus XA. He didn't believe that I paid $30 for the cigar, and it was like, why would I lie about the price of a cigar? What do I have to gain from that? You know, if I told you guys I paid $100 for it, if I paid $5 for it, that's what I paid for it. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get it for that, but I'm telling you what I paid for it. So, Jerome, hey man, and another thing too, man, there have been quite a few people that I didn't even know ordered from Monte Fortuna, but once their shipments came in, they got in my DMs and showed me pictures and were very pleased with it. And I was really pleased. They talked to me about sending that first sampler, and I think in 7 or 8 days it was at my house. So that's definitely, yeah. I mean, it's too much. It's too much information and knowledge for you to be an uninformed or a smoker that's not knowledgeable. It's too much. You can just click. It's just at a click of a finger. You can find anything you want. And so I agree. It's a lot of ignorance. Pete, I don't have any experience with Top Cubans, so I can't speak on that. I don't know. But like I said, I would look into that. They do have on Google, you can type in fake Cuban sites or whatever, and they have a thread where they have about 10 or 15 sites where they say stay away from. Like I was telling you guys, most of the time, but it's just a really big commitment for most people. And that's why I think Monte Fortuna is good, because they're a well-known legit site, and you can order singles or you can order samplers. So that keeps you from committing to a full box of something if you don't know what you're dealing with. If you don't have any experience with stuff, I would say that that's the best. But if you do have experience with Cubans, I would just say if your budget permits, buy boxes, sealed boxes. That helps with the trying to track down or keep down fake cigars. Yeah, that's true. And I think now one of the best play. I don't know how it is in Carolinas, but I know like where Black Lion is based out of in Pennsylvania, they have almost no tobacco tax. And our tax, I think, is 6%, 8%. It's not bad. It's compared to out west, it's terrible. And in Canada too. Like I think I was talking to my buddy Carlos. Shout out to My First Cigar. That's another channel I watch too. But I think he was telling me a Padron there. I can't remember what model it was, but it was like $70. A Crown Head cigar there was $20 or $30. So I was like, hell, if I was in Canada and I can get a Padron for 70, or I could smoke a Cuban for 20 or 15, I'm gonna smoke a lot of Cubans too. Like I'm gonna smoke what my budget is gonna let me do. They don't at all, because that's what he was like. Well, you can't get it for $30. I'm like, yeah, but your tax there might be 40%. Mine's is 6 to 8. Like it's not gonna be the same. Man, James. So I'm still kind of on the fence about that, man. I was gonna do a humidor tour. That's just kind of one of those things that's my opinion, man. Like, I don't think people that do it are bad, because I think that it's always nice to be able to see what people are smoking and like what they have is a day-to-day thing. But all like, I can't help, I've seen videos where like, especially on the Cuban channels, they'll show their humidor. And I know that they're not bragging, but it's just like you look at it like, damn, like it's like a low-key brag almost. So I almost don't want to do one, because I don't want people like, and I don't really have like, I don't have thousands of cigars. I've probably bought more cigars in the last 3 or 4 months than I have in the last year or so. I mean, if I was probably to give a random rough count, I'd probably say I probably have around 700 or 800 right now. But it's a lot of boxes of the same stuff. It's not like a lot of variety. But what's going on, Martine? What's going on, man? Hope you're doing good. Happy belated birthday too, man. Didn't get a chance to tell you. But I wanted to talk about the Monte Fortuna thing, the cigar madness, the Cuban cigar thing. Like, I think even somebody commented on the video a couple of months ago about the Bahique review I did, and he was like very happy. He was like, it's just nice to see an American that's not really biased toward it. Because I mean, everybody knows I lean more towards the medium to full spectrum on cigars, and that's another thing I'm about to talk about too. But at the same time, that's not me saying that you can't have an elite cigar that doesn't have a lot of strength. A lot of people don't like strong cigars. That's just a preference. Just like I got a good buddy that he prefers Connecticut's and milder cigars. That's just his preference, man. My preference is I like spicy, complex, really intense flavored cigars. It just treats me well, and I'm able to tolerate them because this is my second cigar today. I'm probably going to get ready to light up the third one. I probably will have 5 today. So, I mean, I smoke. From what I've seen a lot in the comments, it seems like a lot of people are floating between like 3 and 5 cigars a week. So think about this. So if you have a person that drinks only on week or once a weekend, and you have a person that drinks every day or every other day, their tolerance is going to be higher. So it's going to take more to get them to that level. And not saying that cigars are trying to get to that level, but it's like I have a tolerance for stronger cigars. Now, I still will make sure I have like food on my stomach and stuff like that. But I'm able. I think the last cigar that really whooped on me was that La Bomba Warhead 5. That was like the last one. Like even in the last third, I was like looking at it like, man, I gotta put this thing down. But most of the time, there's not cigars that really, really whoop on me that bad. Jamel, what's going on, man? Try any Cohibas and number. Mike, I've had the Siglo 1, the Siglo 2, the Cohiba Robusto, Esplendido. I think that's it. I haven't had a lot of Cohibas. Most Cubans that I've smoked have been Ramon Alones, Bolivar, Trinidad, some trying to make sure Monte Cristo and Partagas. Probably just like the regular stuff. Like that's what I'm trying to get. That's why I'm trying to smoke more like Diplomaticos, El Rey del Mundo. I'm trying to smoke more brands that people don't really smoke a lot. Mystical, no, don't forget you, because you're probably up there with me, man. I mean, 3 to 5 a week. That's a day for me. That's a day. James, you the same way too. Like I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. Jesse, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was just me. Like I always tell you guys, make some stuff that, as a content creator, and now I'll tell you too. Like she does blogs. You guys got to check her stuff out too. Got to definitely check out her blog. Now, put your link in your blog if you got a chance. Put your link to your blog in there. But yeah, you just. Hey, shout out to you, Adam. Appreciate you for pulling in, man. Have a safe day at work too. But yeah, I'm just trying to get more well versed in Cuba, because I feel like that's a true aficionado, somebody that can kind of speak on everything. Now, with that being said, I don't smoke a lot of I don't smoke really any infused cigars or machine rolled stuff. I mean, it's not like I haven't had them. It's just a preference. I don't really care for them. So see, and that's what I was about to say. I got friends that only smoke on their birthday or holidays. Like you got all different kinds of people. So think about that too, Rodney. So you smoke 3 to 5 cigars a month. So I don't know specifically, but you might not be that guy that wants to know all this information. You just want to know, all right, man, the 3 to 5 cigars a month, like how good are these? Because when I go pick up one, I want to make sure it's a good cigar. If you feel like your palate is pretty close to mine as far as flavor wise, then it's like, all right, Ron recommended this cigar, so I'll grab this one for one of my 3 to 5 cigars I smoke a month. James, hey man, yeah, it's gonna automatically upload after this thing is over, and I'll put a thumbnail and all that stuff too. I was about to say too, the lives don't really get as many views as like the reviews and stuff, but I feel like this was gonna be an easier approach, man. I didn't really want to put all that pressure on Eric to record this and you know make a video about it. I just feel like and then I enjoy talking to you guys too. What part of this? I've had most of the Series D. Mostly the Series D stuff is what I smoked. I had another one I want to try. They have the Maduro line. I haven't tried any of those, but from what I've read, the Series D is the most consistent as far as not needing to be aged as long. Like the tobacco is usually it tastes better and it's usually more ready than like some of the other lines. I would say like Trent, like of course all of them are going to be better with age just because of how the process is, but some of them, like the Bolivars, the Trinidad's, they're you only have a year and a half, 2 years on them. They're still gonna be pretty solid. Hey, no, I know. Hey, you the man. You making me look a lot better than what I really am, man. I appreciate you, man. Man, I'm not pairing anything except some little mineral water. I'm probably gonna light up this Louisiana too. Shout out to Black Line Luxuries too. Another one of my sponsors. I'm telling you guys, I post in my community tab all the time. You guys, the 10% discount code is Ron sent me, and those guys, I'm telling you, anybody that I've turned on the Black Line, they're really gracious. A-Rod, I don't know if he's in here, man. He actually went into it and saw them in person yesterday, but those guys put out some really good samplers. They put out some really good deals. If you can't find something anywhere, 9 times out of 10, Black Line's gonna have it. And they've been really helpful for me because James will probably tell you, I'm probably not the easiest guy when it comes to requests and stuff like that, because I actually smoke a lot of boutique stuff, like brands that people haven't heard of, a lot of older cigars, because I feel like sometimes we get caught up as cigar smokers. You guys should try to be better about that too. Stop worrying so much about what's new out there or what's the next big thing. There's a lot of really good cigars, older cigars that people overlook. Nano, she smokes a lot of LFD. The Capuchulo 2 is one of my favorite cigars. Tatuaje Black Label, a lot of old Warped, a lot of old Illusion, Crown Heads, some newcomer. Well, they really aren't even new. They're just now starting to get the buzz. HVC, Viaje. But so many people get caught up in these giants, Davidoff, Padron, Tatuaje, My Father. There's so many good cigars out there that people aren't exploring. And then you have to be, and for me, I feel like for my palate, the giants do a really good job at setting that standard. Like with Cuban cigar, they set that standard. But then you get your guys like your Dion Giolitos, Rainier Lorenzo, Aganorsa, Pete Johnson, John Hubert, Robert, all these guys. And so they do that job. They get creative. Now, sometimes the blends and stuff get a little out of whack. They get a little wacky, but for the most part, they're very creative with these blends. And so the standard is set, but then when you want to crave more, you got to jump out there and get into that boutique lane, man. Yeah, I've had some good McAuliffe. For me, my favorite McAuliffe is the Leander #1. I haven't had the #2, but I really like that Leander #1. Of course, I'm not even the biggest Drew Estate fan, but I love the Unico line. I always keep UF13s, Feral Flying Pigs, and then I'll scatter in like some Ratzillas and stuff like that. But UF13s and Feral Flying Pigs, I always keep a box of those. Yes, Jamel, I love Lanceros. They were my favorite cigars. I still would say they're probably there, but now I'm really starting to get into that 44 to 48 ring gauge, that Corona Gorda, like that's really starting to be what I'm tending to prefer. And I'm even starting to really jump into Robustos on some blends too. If you guys haven't smoked that's another brand, JRE Tobacco and Christian Aroa over there at CLE. A lot of guys ask me what's a good Connecticut. I don't smoke many of them, but the CLE Connecticut, the Aladino Connecticut, those are great cigars. The Aladino Corojo Reserva is one of the best cigars I've ever had. It's definitely a top 5 cigar for me in 2020. All right, Big Mike, man, you stay blessed too, man. Take care. Yes. But you think about this though too. So a lot of people will talk to you about it, but they just kind of go to the cookie cutter answers when you ask them what do they smoke. They just like, oh, Perdomo. It's like, well, that's cool. Like, do you smoke anything else? So that's another thing. You guys can watch videos of it too. I feel like you can. People are like, well, how do you expand your palate? It's just like anything else. Well, how do you become a better mechanic, or how do you become a better basketball player? You don't just focus on one skill, or you just don't focus on working on one car. To become the best that you can be, to become better, you have to expand. The best mechanic out there can work on everything. The best palate out there, they may not prefer stuff, but they can respect and they can pick out flavors and they can understand what the blender was trying to do. So the person with the best palate, they smoke Connecticut's, natural, sun-grown, Corojo, Oscuro, Habano. They smoke it all. Like, you can't, if a person is only telling me I only smoke Maduros or I only smoke Connecticut's, that's cool, because if they smoke a lot of those, they'll be able to tell you what they prefer in that. But then when you start just saying, all right, well, give me a good cigar to everything that you recommend, and it's like, I don't really smoke a lot of them. It's like, all right, man. So it's you just gotta be well versed, man. Yes, I agree too, Jesse. I think since I've become an official reviewer, I always try to give something at least twice. Even with that Daughters of the Wind, I didn't like. I still have one more sitting up there in the humidor. I probably will smoke it sometime in the summer, but it just was very bland, man. Like it just. But I'll give something at least 2 times before I like write it off. Yes. Like broadleaf is phenomenal. That's one of those things too. Like, I feel like when it's done correctly, it's well fermented and it's blended correctly. Like broadleaf, it has a flavor profile that it's just hard to beat. But even recently, like not even just broadleaf, but like San Andreas too. But like a lot of Maduros I've had in the past 6 months, you could just tell like it's just subpar leaf to me. And I say that because I feel like I'm getting more of a gritty, dirtier taste out of it. So now I feel like, but then I'll jump back to like a Tennessee Waltz or something from the Unico line with a broadleaf wrapper, or a Steve Saka cigar, and you're just reminded of when it's done correctly, like the cigars are just off the chain. But right now, Corojo and Habano are what's hitting me right now. Hey, blessings to you too, James. Appreciate it. Hey, man, I didn't realize that many people were even in here watching. But no, Ian, you didn't miss the review. I'm gonna review the Aladino Corojo Reserva, and I'm gonna review the HVC 500. Those and the Aganorsa Supreme Leaf are right now they're just kind. You could just kind of interchange them. It's just kind of day to day for me. But those 3 are the 3 cigars from my top spots right now in cigar of the year. I know a lot of you guys were trying to reach out and trying to find Supreme Leaves. It just was unfortunate. It was such a small run. I did. Me and James, we actually did a Zoom chat with Terrence Riley, who's the vice president over at Aganorsa, a couple weeks ago, and they're re-releasing the Supreme Leaf, but it'll be in a Toro size. Now, a lot of you experienced smokers will know this too. That's one of those things I'm excited about too, because it's going to be more of it. But some cigars just smoke so different in different blends. Like the Robusto that just came out as a phenomenal cigar, that Toro might not be that good, or they might have a Corona that might not be that good. So sometimes the whole blend will be good, but there are certain ones that smoke definitely better. And then there's some cigars that'll be in a Toro, Robusto, Corona, Gordo, and only the Toro smokes good. The rest of them aren't that good. Jawan, I have the Liga Privada 10 right now, so I'm gonna do a Drew Estate series coming up soon. It's gonna be the Liga Privada 10. It'll be both Year of the Rats, the new one that's coming out, and the old one, the UF4 and the Liga A. Those will all be in the Drew Estate series I'm doing. Hey, Rod, you might know better than me what my next goal is. Yeah, they do, and it not even just the Supreme Leaf. Aganorsa is just putting out a really good quality product, and a lot of people don't realize what like Drew Estate buys from Aganorsa. There's a lot of people that do. Then you got lines like Warp, Dahe, HVC, Illusion. Like there's a lot of brands that people don't even know that have Aganorsa tobacco in it because they don't have Aganorsa broadcasted on the band. I haven't had that one, Mike. I'm gonna have to reach out and try to find one of those. We don't really have a lot of local B&Ms that carry McAuliffe. I only know of one, and he doesn't have but 2 or 3 facings of it. He doesn't have a whole lot of them. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what I was covering. Just hey, man, if you guys see people in these comment sections being stupid and stuff, you got free reign. Oh, and that's another thing. Like I haven't even really been mean or anything, but if I see like the same person persistent with dumbass shit, like I'm gonna remove them and hide them from the channel. Hey, glad to catch you. Hey, we're gonna do something soon too. We're gonna definitely get something soon too. Even if it's written, we do a written review together. We're gonna get something going. But I'm glad you can stop by too. Y'all make sure to check out Red Lips and Cigar Sticks blog, man. She's very, very, very professional. Great reading material. You go over there, you're gonna check it out. It's very professional. Y'all know, man. We ain't dealing with no bullshit over here. But yeah, man, if y'all got any more questions, man, y'all can line them up in the chat, and I'll try to answer some questions. I'll probably hang around for about another 10 minutes, man. In about another couple hours, we got the final episode of the Elite 8 with the Liga number 9 going against the Padron 50, and not the big 50, the Family Reserve 50. What's going on, Dre? Hey, man, late is better than never. Charles, I'm still got like some scabs, but it's hey, I ain't got no complaints, man. I'm still alive. I still can hear, so I'm good. Hey, now we appreciate what you're doing for that cigar community too. Definitely. But yeah, I'll hang around for about another 10 minutes or so, man. So if y'all got any other questions, like I know I released that frequently asked video question, but I think there's probably maybe some things I didn't cover in that some people had questions about. Hey, no problem, Latonya. I'm glad you made it home safe too. I'm glad you made it home. Did you ever get your honey from Preacher? That honey is off, man. That honey is real good. Hey, Charles, God bless you too, man. I really want to tell you, man, you guys, I'm telling you, y'all make, like I said, even there's no monetary value for me at all, but I feel like some of you guys, man, y'all are so faithful as far as just being supportive and just watching and stuff, man. So you guys make it easy to want to stay creative and want to create content. Like and never in my wildest dreams would I just thought I didn't think anybody gave a shit what I had to say. But I just wanted to put it on camera. So, man, Jawan, that's really hard. But right now, James can tell you too. I've been smoking a lot of HVC. I actually got a box that came in today from Black Line. The Illusion Alt 10. These are 2 years old. You see the date code. They're from May of 2018, so they're almost 2 years old. Great cigar. Great cigar. Shout out to Black Line, man. Always taking good care of me. I love coffee, man. That's another one of those things. Coffee doesn't do anything for me, probably unless I have like 5 or 6 cups. But normally I could drink coffee right before I go to bed. It doesn't affect me, man. If I'm tired, I'm tired. I'm going. But the only things I really don't drink, I don't drink a lot of cocktails. Not saying they're bad. Like I'll do an old fashioned or Manhattan if I'm doing something. But most of the time I'm drinking whatever I'm drinking neat. But I do like coffee though. Dre, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, this is all fun for me, man. Like I'm having fun, dude. Like, and that's why you guys don't. When on top of working full time, that's why you guys don't see me coming out with stuff every day. It probably is hindering my growth some because I mean naturally if you're releasing content every day, you'll grow faster. But that I don't want to burn myself out. I'm still having fun. I think you can look at some people when you're watching reviews and you can just tell it's a job to them, man. Like they're just going through the motions, and I never want to get like that, man. This has been a really great 5 years of cigar smoking, learning, experiencing things. It's been fantastic, and so I want to keep it that way. I don't want to ever look at this. I don't ever want to look at my leisure activity as a job, unless I'm a blender, of course. But yeah, Latonya, coffee doesn't do any. I just like the taste of it, but it doesn't. Which is funny too. When I was younger and I drank it, like I always had to have coffee and creamer in my coffee, always. But now, I'll drink creamer every now and then, but it's not that much. And then most of the time, I drink it black because I feel like I don't know. I feel like I kind of, for lack of better terms, I've become a purist when it comes to stuff. Like I just want to see how things taste like in their pure forms, like not affected by anything. So my wife will just like pour half the damn coffee cup with creamer. It's just like So I don't know, like so do you drink coffee with creamer or do you drink it black? Because I was gonna say if you're pairing it, if you're pairing it, I would say I would probably do it black without anything. Peace out, Jamel, man. You be blessed out there, man. Yeah, with cream, that's kind of gonna be one of those. It's gonna be hit or miss. Like probably depending you probably would need to lean more towards a more full bodied cigar. If you drink coffee with cream with a Connecticut, you're gonna just probably drown that thing out. Hey Eddie, it's all good, man. You catch the playback if you want to, but yeah, I just was addressing some stuff with Cigar Madness and Cuban reviews. Some people out there they just don't get it, man. Hey Jesse, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's definitely fun for me, man. Like this is completely fun. All right, Mike, catch you later, man. Happy smoking to you too. And don't forget to try to check out that episode of Cigar Madness if you get a chance, man. Last episode of the Elite Eight. Got this Final Four coming up. So this episode is releasing today. We probably will release both episodes of the Final Four. We're trying to go for next weekend, but things happen. But give it a little break, and then I'm gonna probably hit you guys with a few regular reviews. I still haven't forgot about pairings. I still got some pairings in the work. Yeah, definitely, Charles. It just depends on the cigar. Like that's what I was gonna say too. Like your best chance is maybe black, but yeah, if you do creamer, you definitely it's gotta be the right cigar. I appreciate that, Derek. I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I just hope you guys are having as much fun watching as me, because even though I'm a content creator, I still consider myself a viewer too. So it's always nice to watch other creators that have fun too. Another channel, I feel like he's smaller, but I like him, man. The Smoking Preacher. If you guys haven't ventured over to his channel, man, he's just a very authentic person, man. He's just like us. He's just a regular guy in his garage smoking, and you could tell he's not gonna be like a Cigar Obsession or Cigar Vixen or anybody that's gonna have any elaborate flavor notes or anything. But I feel like that's very good, because I feel like a lot of people that smoke may not be able to get the notes, but they could pick up wood or sourness or sweetness, and that's what he's like. And I think he is funny as hell, and I don't even think he tries to be funny. That's why he's so funny to me, man. He's an insanely funny dude. Yeah, Jesse, that creamer, it's that creamer, that density, that creamer, it's just gonna drown that Connecticut out unless you got some backbone. Yes, Latonya, and that's like I don't watch. I don't, and I can honestly say this without. I don't care if I hurt anybody's feelings or not. I don't really watch any reviewer all the time. Like as far as I crave their next video or I want to see what's going on. But he is probably one of the few people like I'm always tuning in and seeing what he's doing just because, just like you guys just said with me, I feel like it comes off through the camera for him. He's just original. And you could tell he loves smoking cigars. Like he loves this. This is not a job to him. Like he's just like me. I'm just putting on camera what I normally do when I'm not at work or whatever I'm not doing. I'm at home. And he's very honest too. I think that guy deserves a lot more love than what he's getting. But he's a very good channel. I was even telling Lee Mac, I probably keep up with Smoking Preacher more than anybody just because I like his personality. Eddie, that's what it's all about, man. Just because I'm still learning too, I'm still branching out. Never say never to anything. Like I said, I'm not a big infused cigar smoker at all, but I had an Acid 20 sent to me in a sampler when I first started, and I smoked it, and it wasn't a terrible cigar. It wasn't anything I would go out and buy or anything, but I could smoke it if I had to, you know. Hey James, I appreciate that, man. I don't know if this is weird or not too. I watch my stuff a lot too, and I do it just trying to study myself and just trying to get better at the craft, just trying to figure out ways of trying to do things. So I watch myself a lot too, just trying to figure out what I can work on or what I can improve. Jakuba too, what's going on, brother? Glad to see you, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, I was gonna say if you guys don't have any more questions. No, not yet, man. So I don't know I mean, people know, but I mean, like, Rabbit Air is supposed to be sending me an air purification unit so I can test it out and see if it's worthy or not for you guys to test out. But right when everything was kind of, getting approved and everything, the whole coronavirus COVID-19 thing kind of kicked in. So that kind of, I'm thinking, I haven't reached out or anything, but I'm thinking that's probably what's slowing stuff down. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it too because the purification unit is rated for 800 square feet and my sunroom is 400, so it shouldn't have any problem um, clearing the air out here. Juan Carlos, what's going on, man? What up, EB? Yeah, somebody asked earlier about that. I don't know, man. Like I'm still on the fence about it. I might do a little section. I might do a little tour video of a drawer or something like that. But as far as my whole collection, probably not, man. Because like I was saying, like it just my personal opinion. I feel like sometimes it's kind of like dry bragging, and that's not my personality. That's not how I want to come off. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to act like I'm better than anybody else or anything, dude. I'm a regular dude that works just like everybody else. Have a wife and a son. Like I'm just a regular dude, man. Andre, big influences for me right now. Like, I mean, the only person the only people that are currently still doing content is Lee Mack and Charles Wallingford. Those are the guys when I first started smoking cigars. When I got on YouTube, those were the two guys I found, and they're still making content. So I kind of grew with them because you go back and watch Lee Mack's and Charles' old videos, you could just see the growth. And that's another thing too, man. You guys should put more pressure on these reviewers or just people in the community in general. You should put pressure on them. I think that's completely fair and honest for you to try to get them to get out their comfort zone and to grow. If you've been following a person for 2 years or however long, 3-4 years, and their stuff looks the same as it did, and they're not trying to progress or anything, it's like or at least that's my opinion, man. Like I think you should always be trying to grow and trying to progress. Appreciate that, Wag, and hey, I'm definitely gonna keep at it, man. I'm having, like I said earlier, I'm having a lot of fun. This is great for me. No, nope. I mentioned that earlier too, Jakuba too, but I still haven't bought one. I'm gonna get on it, man. I know Lee Mack and my brother Don over in the Perfecto group. They get on me all the time about not having that perfect draw too. See, that's what I'm talking about, Charles. That's why I say I'm always learning from you too, man. I'll do that for sure. You leave it running all day long so it just keeps the air clean? Yeah, man. And if you got, I'm telling you, if there's some questions you want to ask me, I'm gonna be completely honest about shit, man. So just ask away if you got any questions. Like I said, I'll hang around for a few more minutes. Oh, and speaking of that, I got a question I want to ask you guys. So, what is your biggest pet peeves for cigar reviewers? You know, like for all you guys, like, so what made you guys decide to follow me, or what makes you guys decide to follow any other cigar reviewers, and like, what's y'all's criteria, man? Like, what draws you to a person? Okay, Charles. All right, I'll definitely, and because that sounds like some stuff I do anyway. I'd like look at the buttons and be like, oh yeah, I just put it on automatic and let it do his thing. Hey, it's all good, Jacob. I'm glad you pulled in, man. I'm glad you got to stop by. Appreciate that, Charles. And I was saying earlier too. I don't know everything, but I like if I don't know something, I'll be honest about it, or you know, I appreciate that too, EB. Yeah, I think that I even said that in the video. I think that people ask me all the time, like, because I've had a few people behind the scenes ask about like how do or why do I think the channel's grown like it does, and I just said, man, you've got to be honest, and I think people can sense that, and you got to be creative because again, like I was mentioning, if you're not being creative or always drawing people in, I mean, I understand there's a fine line too because you're going to have people that have followed you for a long time and they like what you do, but then those people can also respect what you're doing as far as growing too, as long as you're not losing who you are. So I feel like the creativity, and then you definitely have to be consistent. I've seen a couple of channels recently, man. I think that they got a lot of potential, but that they're not releasing enough content, and it's going to hurt them. Hey, I appreciate that too, and that was another reason why I think, and just being honest, that's why I gravitated towards Lee Mack and Charles, because when I first was watching cigar reviews, there wasn't any really anybody of color really. Like, I mean, it's even on the Cuban side, like you got Danny with Puff Puff Cigars, you got AJ Patel, but when I was coming around, like, and then Puro Maduro is the same way, but mostly there wasn't a lot of reviewers of color at all, and I was wondering that because I was going to local B&Ms and these festivals and there was a lot of people of color that smoked. So I was like, why is nobody reviewing cigars? Because a lot of these people had great palates, very knowledgeable. It's like, man, you kill it, man. Yeah, and that's another thing too, man. I think that was like a little funny video. I think I'm probably still gonna do in the future too. Some of these flavor notes that some of these people get, like, I get it, cigar smoking subjective. I get that 100%. But some of this shit is like, all right, man, come on, dude. Like lemon lime Pringles or some shit like this. Like, come on, man. Like it's just tobacco, man. Like it's just tobacco. I appreciate that too, Jesse. Yeah, I don't even know if Eric is even still in here, but he's a big reason why the content looks as good as it does, man. He does a hell of a job with the editing and stuff, man. Yeah, man. I understand. I'm not gonna mention any names, but if and that's another thing I was just saying. Just be honest. So I feel like if a person is really energetic or wild, and that's how they are in real life, and you can, like, if you meet them, you're like, they're like, oh, okay. But some of that stuff you watch and you're like, there's no way you walk around 24/7 walking or talking like that, man. Yeah, Eddie. Like I said, I'm learning from the best in the game, dude. Like he's just Lee is a very detrimental person to me, man. He's one of those people that he's one of those people. Once you're on his good side, you always want to keep him there, man. He has a lot of knowledge about stuff too. A lot of like he's just a really helpful guy, and I can tell you now, not even just me. There's not a cigar reviewer, you know, not somebody that has like 10 subs or something, but there's not probably a cigar review channel out there that probably it's not at 200 or 300, 400 that he hasn't probably communicated with. That's just how he is, man. And it's genuine too. Like, yeah, Andre Charles is another good guy too. He's another one of those guys. People in the chat, some people follow him too. He's really knowledgeable. Y'all think I smoke some nice shit, man. Like he just did a humidor tour. Charles has some nice cigars in his collection, man. Yeah, definitely, Jesse. Kudos to Eric, man. Like I told you guys, he makes me look way better than what I am, man. Yeah, wait, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a Ramon Alonis. I actually got quite a few of those. That's one of my favorite cigars too. Charles, I can see that too. I can see that too. And then another thing I think with a lot of things, just the mentality of so many people are worried about what other people are going to think. Are they going to think I'm good or I'm not good enough or I don't know enough? But I think if you come in with a baseline of knowledge and you're honest, I think you can be successful. Yeah, fact, for sure. I don't have a problem with Martine at all. Me and him don't have a problem. I don't hate anybody or anything. We don't have a problem at all. Yeah, definitely. Try. I think, and then just being completely honest, there was a part of me too that had to kind of get over it. I feel like I'm a very free spirited, kind of non-caring person, and it took a while to get to that. My wife always said, "You always so nonchalant about everything," but I am. But then when I decided, because that is a big step for you to, as a person, to say, "All right, I'm willing to put myself completely out there for people to judge me," because that's what people are going to do. They might not. Oh, I'm not a judgment. That's what you're doing. When you watch somebody, you're judging their content. You're judging how they speak. You're judging how they carry themselves, and then from that judgment, you decide if that's somebody you want to mess with or not. So when I was starting, I was like, man, what, I always thought like that. I was like, well, maybe if I'm not good enough. So I don't know if I mentioned that before, like, but a goal for me, realistically, I was like, if I can get to 1,000 subs in a year, I feel like I'm worthy. And that was my personal goal. I feel like if I can get to 1,000 subs in a year, I feel like I'm worthy, and I feel like I'm cool. So. Oh yeah, Jacoba. Yeah, I watch everybody's reviews. I watch Martine, High Desert Man, Smoking Lead, Cigar Pro. I watch all those guys. It's just the frequency of when I watch them. So what I mean by that, sometimes, like if Martine or High Desert Man, they might release a video on Friday. I might not watch it until Sunday or Monday, if that makes any sense. And sometimes I've missed stuff. Like I have to go back and watch too. Like it's just like I was saying earlier, the only person that and I don't even watch all his stuff when it drops immediately, but usually if I see his notification, like I'm clicking on it, the Smoking Preacher, I like him, man. Max, I appreciate that, man. I'm definitely gonna do that, man. We're just getting started. I think I'm about to brush up on 8 months doing reviews and still having a hell of a lot of fun. Actually, having more fun now than I was when I first started. So if it keeps going in that direction, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be gold. Hey, man, Jesse, that means 3. Hey, I'm a sub to you too, man. It means 3 people care about what you got going on. Do you got a channel, or do you just have like people that randomly sub to the channel? Dave, what up, boy? Yeah, Max, I appreciate that, man. It just the concept of the cigar madness was just for fun. Some people just take it so literal, or they think like you're saying the Davidoff is just a better cigar than the Cohiba Robusto. Not necessarily. Just when I smoked it, it was better than. Like most people will say that Robusto's 5, 6, 7 years old. It wipes the floor with the Davidoff. I had a good friend of mine that's on the fire department, Jacoba. He gave me my first cigar in 2015, and I liked it, and so I was like, all right, man, I just kind of was dealing with the hobby, and I was a big bourbon drinker then, so smoking and drinking kind of went hand in hand, and then I found Puro Maduro and Charles Wallingford, so I was like, all right, and so I always do everything 100%. If I'm going to get into something, my wife will tell you, I don't know You always, if I'm doing something, I'm gonna be completely in it, or I'm not gonna be in it at all. It's not gonna be me being like, I'm kind of doing this. Like, if I'm gonna be doing YouTube and I'm doing cigar reviews, I'm gonna be the best damn cigar reviewer that Ron can be. I'm gonna try to kill it. Like, there's no sense to me half-assing it. So yeah, same thing here too, Andre. Like when I'm watching reviewers and stuff like that, like that's what I look for too. Brian, what's going on? With that being said, HBC right now. That's a brand I have not done a review on the channel. I probably will end up doing a mini series on HBC too. Another brand. They're very boutique. Like, they're actually a boutique company. I think Rainier produces around 250,000 cigars a year. He's smaller for sure, but he blends. He's the president, the owner, and he blends the cigars. I'd love to be able to learn how to blend under him. Man, Chris, it's been a long time since I had that cigar. I think I had it when it first came out. I cannot give you an honest opinion on it. Now, with me saying that, I don't think it was I would have remembered it if it was that good. So it might have not been a bad cigar. It might just been a good cigar or whatever. But for me, for Padrones, like, you know how much I love Padrones. Like, there's ones I know, like, I remember, like the that 1926 80 anniversary Family Reserve 50. Family Reserve 46 year. There's a couple that I remember those. I appreciate that one, Carlos. Hey, Jesse, whenever you're ready, man, let me know. Man, help you as much as I can, whatever I can do, or point you in the right direction. I'm sure you're following some other reviewers too, man. That, hey, like Lee Mack says, the pie is big, man. It's room for everybody in here because everybody brings their own flavor, their own style, their own way. It's all. Appreciate that, man. Ooh. What's your today all-time favorite cigar? Man, I don't know. I really don't know. It's just I don't know, man. My favorite Padron is that 1926 80th anniversary. Supreme Leaf is really good right now for me. Like, Tatuaje Black Label and Cazador, or the Petit Lancero is up there. I really like the Espinosa Laranja. That's a really good cigar. Like, I don't know where it floats at on my all-time list, but those are cigars I'm kind of thinking about that may be there. The Aroa First 20 Year, I love that cigar. That's a cigar I always grab for. Believe it or not, man, I like the Opus X Power Ranger. That's one of the few Opus X I really, really like. I appreciate that, Brian, man. I'm glad to have you over here. And like I was telling the guys earlier, man, you guys mean the world to me with all the support you guys are giving me, man. It's really rejuvenating, and it just makes me want to go harder and harder. Yeah, because right now it's so hard to say a favorite cigar, because right now I'm just kind of thinking in time frame of year to year. And I haven't been smoking long, like 10 or 20 years, but in 5 years I smoked a lot of cigars. So that's really hard to narrow down. I'd have to like really sit down and think about it. Hey, Charles, that's a good answer too, man. The next Padron, your favorite Padron is the next one you smoke for sure. Max, the numbers are going up. I think they might have slowed down a little bit, but once the testing became more available, the numbers of the COVID-19 jumped up. But people here are just, they're just crazy, man. Everybody, they had to shut down. They actually had to shut down the parks and stuff because people were still hanging out. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, that first 20, that's probably top 10. That's for sure. That's a cigar I can always pick up. It's gonna be consistent. It's gonna be good. And that's another cigar. A lot of people, they just overlook it, man. Overlook it. I knew you were gonna say that too, Miss. I know that's your favorite cigar. You smoke about 5 of those a week. Is that viaje you were telling me about yesterday? Because if so, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go out and get that one. Most flavorful cigar you've ever smoked. That's gonna be hard too, but you are right now. the Aladino Corojo Reserva or the Supreme Leaf right now are the most flavorful cigars I've had to as of right now. Like those two cigars. I appreciate you, Max, man. I really, really do appreciate you. I'm glad you're enjoying everything, man. Hey, the army's growing. We going places, man. I'm telling y'all, we going places. Yeah, Juan Carlos, same for me. Most Cubans are too mild for me, but that's not me saying I don't think that they're great cigars. Because when you get a really nice aged one and the draw and everything is good, some of the flavors that Cuban tobacco produce, I feel like people try to emulate that flavor profile, but you just can't emulate that Cuban soil, man. There's just something about it. Erickson, yeah, for sure. I prefer full body, full strength. If I can get both, I prefer that. Next best option for me, if I can't get the strength, obviously is still full body and full flavor. Like more intense flavor, more complexity. Like that's me. Are you saying Davidoff? There are some Davidoffs I like, but overall, like I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a Davidoff guy. Hey Jesse, tell him keep. Hey, don't say nothing. Tell him keep on walking. Romy Rome, how much does it? That hey, when you come in, I gotta ask you, would you be willing? I know what's that about $100 a cigar? I don't know, man. Maybe if I get enough Patreons or something like that, I might. And that's another thing with the Patreon too. So people realize like, so when it really gets really rolling, that Patreon will be invested in cigars and better equipment and stuff like that. Me and Eric are gonna get together. We're gonna work and get better lighting, better cameras, better. We're gonna elevate. Oh no, Romy wrong. You won't be seeing Ron Real review that unless somebody send that in. Jacoby. Ah, man, that's a tough question. Like I said, it's been a while since I really got really kicked down by a cigar. The last one I had was the Labumba Warhead Five by Espinosa. That was a really like in the last third. I think I was smoking it over Eric's head. I had to put that cigar down. That actually was killing me pretty good. Erickson, what do you suggestions? What do you normally smoke? You let me know what you normally smoke and what are you more of a medium, mild, are you more full or more of a full guy? I'm not either mystical, and really, to be honest, I don't want to pay 40 for no Davidoff. The most I want to spend for the most I think I would pay for a cigar, and I feel like it's worth it, is probably about $30. But again, like that's some people's profile though. Like you got people that are pro Davidoff, pro Opus X. Michael, I haven't tried the Emperor's Cut. I watched his review and he speaks really highly of it. We talked, and I think he's gonna get me one or two of them so I can see what he's hitting on. Medium to full. What do you normally smoke? Yeah, $30 max for me. 30 max for me. I'm not saying I never will spend over that, but I feel like as far as when I'm smoking, I'm like, all right, it was worth $30. Like you start getting to 40 and 50, like most of those cigars aren't worth it to me personally. But medium to full, Erickson, if like me and Jesse were talking about, if you haven't had the Aroa first 20 year, that's a great cigar for the medium profile. The Wise Man Maduro by Foundation, the Wawense by Foundation. I like the My Father Lanceros. The Lanceros are really good. Trying to think of some other medium to fulls I would go for. Oh man. The Laranja Oscuro by Espinosa is really good. Of course, I'm smoking a lot of HVC. Most of their stuff is medium to full body too. So, like I was telling you, just make sure you guys are paying attention to that community tab because I'm always posting the deals and stuff that Black Lions has, and then the prices are already going to be good, and then you can get that 10% discount with using that code Ron sent me. Yeah, man, Chris, I bet that tax over there is just man. Yeah, that's another one. The record, the Tabernacle Havana Seed. I like the original Tabernacle more, but the Havana Seed, a lot of people love that cigar too. Placencia Alma Fuerte. I keep forgetting that cigar. The Placencia Alma Fuerte. If you haven't had that cigar, check that cigar out. I think you like that one. Yeah, that's Juan Carlos. That's mostly me too. I'm more medium full body. Brian, Mystical can actually tell you this. He's in the chat. I smoked it the other day, 2 or 3 days ago. I got another size. I smoked a Robusto. I got a Toro lift. I enjoyed the first 2/3. The last third kind of dropped off for me, if I'm not mistaken. But I I have a Toro, so I might even actually do it. I might sit back and do a review on that one. Erickson, I think you're gonna like that one. If you like really intense flavored, complex, just a good damn cigar, like that Supreme Leaf's a good cigar. Chris, what'd you order? The Placencia, or what are you talk? What cigar are you talking about? Yeah, Mystical. That's what I was about to say. I know that name sounded familiar, and I recognize that band. Yeah, I smoked a Robusto the other day. The first 2/3 I enjoyed. The last third kind of dropped off for me. Got a little bitter and was just kind of eh. Okay, Chris. Yeah. I like that one too. I like the Salamone a little more. I've only had one Sixto in that Alma Fuerte, and I had some burn issues with it. The flavors were cool, but the burn issues were kind of bothering me. But yeah, let that sit a little bit. I think you'll like it for the most part. The two sizes that everybody leans toward is the Salamone or the Hexagon. What's Austin? What's going on, man? I was trying to think of your name earlier. We were talking about the guy in the comment on the video the other day. The Cuban is best guy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look out for that. Talk to Wahe. Rome, I smoke all of the vintage Rocky Patels, but when I say I smoke them, that doesn't mean for me I buy them all the time. I like them, but I don't buy them a lot. The Rocky Patel I buy the most of would be the Decade. That's the one I smoke the most. The two cigars Rocky Patel produced that I really, really loved, that I thought were box worthy, but of course they're both discontinued. The Super Ligero Lancero and the Decade Cameroon were both phenomenal cigars, but they're both discontinued. So if y'all are looking at local B&Ms and you see a Rocky Patel Super Ligero Lancero or a Decade Cameroon Toro, those are both really good cigars. I did not do an actual review of a Leaf by Oscar Jacuba 2, but if y'all go back and look at the top 5 cigars I reviewed or refer to beginners, like the Leaf by Oscar Connecticut was in there. Erickson, for me, the smaller the better. Like anything Robusto and under, 50 ring gauge, Corona 44, 46, 48. And then, of course, I like the Lanceros too. I try to stay away from stuff most of the time if it's over a Toro. Like if it's over a 54, unless it's like a Figurado or like a lot of really credible people are talking up the blend, I'll try to stay away from really big cigars. Hey, Brian, you probably missed it, but this came in from Black Line earlier. I got a box of Illusion Alt 10s that are about 2 years old. So I'm gonna enjoy these. And I actually was down to my last one. That'll be the next cigar I smoke today. But I'm a big Illusion fan. He uses Aganorsa tobacco. Yeah, yes, sir. Yep. Brian, do you like the Illusion Ultra or the Eprenay? Eprenay? I think those are both really good too. He's another one of those guys that he gets it. He's a very good blender, man. I like most of Illusion stuff. Also, I'm gonna take your word for it because you guys over there, y'all smoking them Cubans over there. That's probably pound for pound. It's just hard, man. Like it's between that or that Royal Corona because when they're both aged, like they both are elite. But I'm gonna look for the 2018 Bellicoso Finos. Erickson, big quick smoke. I'm gonna recommend off top. I just got done finishing it. The Warped Corto. It's a small cigar. It's really small. I think it's a 44 ring gauge. And honestly, the Southern Draw, Quick Draw Habano is very good too. Both very good cigars, and they're not long smokes, maybe 30, 40 minutes at most. Favorite Ezra Zion right now, still that sawed-off shotgun. Everything else I've had so far has been just kind of It ain't bad, but that sawed-off shotgun was, man. I think Mystical, I think I'm gonna end up putting the Lucille on the channel. I'm gonna review that. See, Brian, you sound like your palate is pretty close to mine. I love both of those cigars. Illusion's another brand that's just they get it. Yes. Yeah, that milk chocolate in it, that tea flavor, man. When them Cubans are aged good, that's what I was saying earlier. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you can get cigars that they'll have the profile of it, but it's just like the flavor profile of Cuban. They're different, man. They just like, that's one of those things I say it all the time. I'm like, they just taste different, man. It's different. Yeah. And the quick draws are like budget friendly too. Like, those are $5-6 cigars. So another thing I was gonna mention to you guys too before I get out of here, when Cigar Madness is over, sometime in the summer, I'm gonna work on a series called, or a tournament called Ron Real's Summer Showdown. It's gonna be 8 cigars. They all will be under $10, and it'll be the same thing. We're just gonna do a Elite 8. Start at the Elite 8. It won't be 16. It'll just be 8 cigars. And don't get it mistaken. All the 8 cigars I'm picking are gonna be good cigars. I'm just gonna do a tournament style because I think people enjoy the competition. Hey, what's going on, Kevin? Man, I think you say you're doing very well. I'm doing good too, brother. I think you're speaking French, maybe. No, Spanish. I'm gonna try that Viaje for real, Mystical. Rome, whiskeys and rums. Rum is expensive, but the Zacapa XO is good. But the Zacapa 23 is a pretty good bottle for about $30. Zaya is pretty good. Diplomatico is a pretty good rum. Plantation XO is a really good rum for about $50-$60. Whiskeys, depends what you like. You know, I like Japanese, I like Scotch, I like bourbon. If you're looking for a good bourbon, budget bourbon, Buffalo Trace, Weller Special Reserve, Elijah Craig, Larceny, 1792 is a very good one. Eagle Rare is another very good one. It just depends on your budget and how much. It just depends on how much you want to spend. I have, Brian. I like it. It's one of those cigars I have to be in a mood for though, because I feel like that cigar doesn't really have a lot of sweetness to it. It's more, for me, more savory, woody, and I like it, but I have to be in a mood for it. And yeah, I just got to be in the mood to smoke that cigar. But I do like it though. The best of that lineup of like what he did for the States, to me, and I know this is gonna sound biased, but I think that Tennessee Waltz with that Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, which is hard to find right now. You just can't find it. Yeah, Erickson, I got some not the video won't solely be on the drinks or spirits. It'll just be pairing videos, but I got a couple of videos I'm working on for sure. Dude, also that's what I need to try to get my hands on. I need to try to find some Cuban rum, something other than the Havana 7 and stuff, like the stuff that everybody. You guys know me, man. I'm always trying to find the stuff that everybody doesn't know about. Yeah, that Tennessee Waltz is a great cigar. Nikas are good. Nikas are very good. The Yamazaki 12 is a very good one, but it's high as hell now. It used to be $100 if you can even find it. I think they're $300. Same thing with the Hibiki 12. They discontinued it, and they do the Hibiki Harmony now. Those are in the Hakushu. That's another one that used to be like 80, 90 bucks. It's like 300 now. So Japanese whiskeys they just have gotten so popular, and people that which has driven the price up. Same thing with bourbon, man. You used to be able to find Pappy Van Winkle, Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. That stuff used to sit on the shelf and collect dust because people just thought it was absurd to pay over $30 or $40 for a bottle of bourbon. Now people are paying $1,000 for a damn bottle that retails for $100. It's just crazy. Can you? Is it you can find the Yamazaki 12? I would say anytime you see that, I would keep a bottle of that in the cabinet at all times. What Erickson? What'd you think of the 6 grapes? Ports work really well with cigars. Zay, what's good? I'm gonna have to catch one of your lives when y'all go back up too, man. I'm gonna have to come mess with you in no cap. Salute, fam. Salute. Yeah, I wish I could find a Yamazaki 12, man. That's a good one. But yeah, man. I'm gonna get up out of here and get ready. I gotta get some lunch, man, before I smoke this other cigar. And you guys know the last episode of the Elite Eight will be airing at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. So you guys will just have to adjust to y'all time. Shout out to everybody for popping into the chat today, man. I love all y'all, man. You know how we rocking. And hey, I told y'all a few minutes ago, I told y'all earlier, we going places. I'm glad to have all y'all on board with me, man. And it's been really fun. Y'all take care and be blessed. I'll see y'all in the premiere for the Elite Eight.